Right now at 5, North Texas animal shelters are sounding the alarm as triple-digit heat puts people and pets at risk. The steps owners are urged to take to keep animals safe.
I think there is definitely an expectation that prices are going to be higher.
The National Retail Federation predicts record spending for back-to-school shopping this year, but warns families may be in for some sticker shock. We'll explain what's driving prices up for the school year.
A U.S.-Saudi Arabia nuclear deal has been signed, but now there are growing questions and confusion. I'm Rena Roy, and I'll have the latest coming up.
But first, we begin with a live look from our Trend Tower camera in Rockwall. The heat's a little less intense than yesterday, but don't let that fool you. Feels like temps are still in the triple digits. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Cynthia Izaguirre in for Chris with Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus. And yeah, I could actually feel it less hot today.
This is how sad it is.
Isn't it?
It really is. So today I walked outside at 6 o'clock, and yesterday I did the same thing. And yesterday I was like, this is miserable. I went inside and looked, and it was 85 degrees at 6 in the morning. This morning I walked out and I'm like, this feels pretty nice, and it was 80. So how sad is that, that I was so happy that it was just 80 degrees. The normal low is like 76 or 77, but that's how much cooler it was today. And the high at 4:45 today, we only hit 99. So you were right. What's today, July 23rd? Is it 23rd?
Yep.
That's awesome. Doesn't that make you feel good? The first time since the first of the year.
Yay, he's so nice.
She doesn't have a chance to work with me very often. I love it. I give her a hard time at 5 o'clock off camera, but now I get to do it on camera.
So much fun.
But yeah, it was cooler today. I mean, all kidding aside, it's just strange. We're like, hey, it feels pretty good. Because it was 106 yesterday and 106 the day before. Now, it's going to heat right back up. Tomorrow, still 98, 99 degrees. And then August 1 and 2, maybe 98, 99. But other than that, it's just triple digits everywhere.
So soak today and tomorrow up while we can.
Tomorrow up while we can, you're right. All right, here we go, outside right now. There's a heat advisory. It's in effect. It's for the Metroplex and areas to the north and also to the west. That goes until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. That most likely is going to go through the weekend. Right now out at DBU, it's a chilly night. Yesterday it was like 102, 103. Right now at DBU, it's 97, but as Cynthia mentioned, heat index values in the triple digits. It's 104 at DBU. 97s in Dallas, Fort Worth, Denton, Waxahachie, Corsicana, Hillsboro, Granbury, all at 97. I have some triple digits out in far western sections of North Texas, out in the rolling plains. Albany's 100, 101 in Haskell, Breckenridge is 100. But other than that, we're in the upper 90s here. Heat index values for everyone except for Eastland, Stephenville, Brownwood, Coleman, all those are in the mid to upper 90s. Everybody else is in the triple digits. Oh, I see you, Bowie. You're at 98 degrees. But Dallas, Fort Worth, anywhere from 103 to 104 to 105. Those are the current heat index values. I have a little bit of rain out here across parts of the rolling plains and parts of, I guess, the easternmost sections of West Texas, and a little bit of cloud cover rolling in down here in southeast Texas around Center and Nacogdoches. My forecast, so for the rest of the week, it's hot. There's that little cooler weather tomorrow when we hit 99. We're back to 100 Saturday, 101 on Sunday, and lots of triple digits in my extended forecast. I'll have the latest on that. And you know what? I'm also going to have a summer temperature update. If you think it's been hotter than normal, you're right, it has been. I'll have those numbers just for clarification purposes when I come back.
And while less hot today, it is still dangerous. And this heat isn't just tough on people, it's putting pets at risk too. Animal shelters across North Texas are reminding owners to take extra precautions as the temperatures climb. Richard Solomon has simple ways to keep your four-legged family member safe.
If it's hot for you.
Imagine wearing a fur coat outside right now. That just makes the temperature like 20 degrees hotter.
Then imagine how it feels to him. This is Canelo, a 3-year-old pup.
Even out here, you can see the difference between the shade and then the temperature of what the grass is.
And right now, Jennifer Smith with Dallas Animal Services says they're keeping a close eye on he and the others here.
I wouldn't keep him outside more than like 10, 15 minutes.
With temperatures feeling like they're in the hundreds, others are calling on pet owners to think. The Colony Animal Services posted this on its Facebook page and told me by the end of day on Wednesday, they've had 24 calls for heat-related animal welfare concerns this month.
When a dog is overheated, or even cats, you're going to see a lot of panting, hypersalivating, drooling.
And Smith says it's very preventable. She advises you to take your dog out early in the morning or at night and provide cool water. And be careful of asphalt or cement because heat can burn their paws.
You can do a test by simply putting like the back of your hand on the pavement. If it's too hot for you, it's way too hot for them.
And here at the animal shelter, they have fans going constantly. And outside, a pool for the dogs to play in. Temperatures can impact all of us. So it's important to keep the best of us safe.
To stay inside. You know, if everyone can just stay inside, that would be great for you and for your pet.
In Dallas, I'm Richard Solomon.
In Hill County, 2 people are critically hurt after that train struck a FedEx van this afternoon. It happened north of the town of Itasca near State Highway 81 around 2 p.m. The truck was struck by the train as it attempted to drive over the tracks. The driver and passenger inside the truck were taken to nearby hospitals in critical condition. Roads nearby were closed as crews responded to this crash. We'll continue to bring you updates as we learn more. A TCU student who came to the United States as a child has been deported to El Salvador. He was transferred into ICE custody last month after being arrested in Arlington. WFAA's Adriana de Alba is in the newsroom tonight with what we're learning about the case and reaction from the TCU campus. I know you've been working on this story all day.
All day, Izzy, and I can tell you that there are a lot of people in the community that are voicing support for this young student. Today, DHS confirmed to me that Luis Andrade Garcia was deported to El Salvador 2 days ago, and the agency is standing by his deportation. DHS says Andrade Garcia is from El Salvador and that he entered the U.S. in 2009, which would have made him 3 years old then. His fraternity at TCU says the 20-year-old was valedictorian at Sam Houston High School. He was a TCU student, mentored kids, and had multiple scholarships, pursuing a double major in accounting and business information systems. Well, Arlington PD tells us last month an officer approached him while in his vehicle, police accusing him of public lewdness. Andrade Garcia drove off, and the officer did not pursue him, but days later, police tracked down his car and arrested him. And he was charged with evading. After that arrest, DHS transferred him to an ICE detention center before his deportation. The agency telling me that Luis Andrade Garcia had no legal status in the U.S. and was subject to a years-old removal order. Meanwhile, his fraternity Lambda Theta Phi says Andrade Garcia should have been allowed to stay in the U.S. while his immigration case moved forward. An immigration attorney not formally connected to this case tells me that Andrade Garcia was not eligible to apply for DACA and that this case demonstrates how strict immigration rules are right now.
But we know the protocols with respect to immigration have changed. They're no longer allowing for these bond hearings, so they're keeping you in a facility, a detention facility for forever, until you can have that. So that coupling of that the possibility of being deported as opposed to voluntary departure, and then having to stay in a detention facility for months prompts many people just to opt for the voluntary departure.
And a spokesperson for TCU told us they will have no statement on this case, but those immigration attorneys that I spoke with, Izzy, tell me that his legal options at this point are limited.
All right, thanks for this update. I know that this story will not go away, so we'll look forward to the next update.
Thank you.
Well, tonight, a new push today to remove the Johnson County Sheriff. The petition to remove Sheriff Adam King comes weeks after a judge declared a mistrial in his criminal case. King was arrested and charged with 2 felony counts of retaliation involving a witness. Prosecutors say he repeatedly made unwanted sexual comments and advances toward female employees and fired his chief deputy who reported it. King denies these allegations. A date for a new trial has not been announced. Well, the afternoon rush is in full effect. Here's Stacia Wilson with a look at what's happening on the roads right now. Stacia?
That's right, Izzy. We have basically a major traffic alert to let you know about that will be happening this weekend in Richardson. So Central Expressway, 75 northbound and southbound from Beltline to Arapahoe Road will shut down Friday night at 9 p.m. until Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Then Saturday night into Sunday morning, that same stretch, only this time the northbound side will be affected, will close Saturday night into Sunday. So just be aware of that. Traffic will be diverted to the service road, but you can definitely expect delays through there. That is a busy stretch of Central Expressway. Now, just north of this location along 75, you have a stalled vehicle that's blocking a couple lanes right there at Spring Creek, and that is causing a backup on the southbound side. We're heading on over to the Irving area. You have an accident that was right along 161 southbound at 183. It just cleared within the last couple of minutes. So traffic moving much more smoothly. You can still see it's slow behind this collision, though, as that traffic pans out. Over there in Denton County, you still have slower traffic right along 35 northbound. Looking at it from Rector in Sanger, you have road work. One lane there is blocked. Izzy?
All right, Stacia, thank you. And oil prices are spiking as fighting continues in the Middle East between the U.S. and Iran. Brent crude spiked nearly 6% this morning to briefly top $100 per barrel for the first time since May. The U.S. benchmark is moving around the $90 mark. AAA says regular gas is averaging $4.09 a gallon and diesel $5.21. DFW's average price per gallon sits at $3.76. Meantime, Congress is divided over President Trump's war with Iran, the Senate voting down a resolution that would have required the president to end U.S. military involvement in the war, while the House narrowly approved a separate measure that expressed opposition to the conflict. Supporters say Congress should reclaim its authority over war powers, but some Republicans argue forcing a withdrawal now would weaken America's position. President Trump has approved an agreement with Saudi Arabia to partner on developing the kingdom's civil nuclear energy program, but there's not much clarity on that deal tonight. The president says it was signed yesterday, but he says it is now depending on whether Saudi officials are willing to enter into an agreement to normalize relations in the region. ABC's Rena Roy has more.
Growing questions around the U.S.-Saudi Arabia nuclear deal. On Wednesday, the Trump administration said U.S. and Saudi energy officials signed to develop the kingdom's civilian nuclear energy program. But now President Trump says it's contingent upon Saudi Arabia joining the Abraham Accords, a set of agreements meant to normalize relations between Israel and Arab nations.
He wants to see these countries sign the Abraham Accord. It was one of the most historic accomplishments of his first term, and it continues to be a long-term goal of his to expand those accords to ultimately come to a place where the Middle East can be a peaceful and stable region.
Experts say with this 11th hour stipulation, the deal could very well be called off.
They might be inclined to join the Abraham Accords, but not doing it in such a public way. So if this was not a part of the deliberations, a part of the talking, I think this is going to fall apart.
Meanwhile, House Democrats are warning if the deal goes through, it could spark a nuclear arms race.
I mean, the president says what we're trying to do is to stop Iran from having a nuclear weapon. But if Saudi Arabia does not meet all the protocols, etc., then it could cause an arms race where the Egyptians or others in the area want a nuclear weapon.
They're also questioning whether it's intended to benefit the president's friends and allies.
These deals should be about national interest, and instead they are about personal enrichment for whoever has an in the White House.
An organization that represents 9/11 families is calling this deal highly offensive, saying America is rewarding a country that helped 9/11 terrorists map out and plan the attacks. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.